What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Thinking Wealthy podcast. This is episode 3.
Episode 3.
All about time management. Get ready. We're going to be telling you
Yeah.
everything you need to...
Sorry.
Wow, man. Everything you need to know about time management. So get hyped, get ready. Remember, if you watch this episode, it's Monday. It's 6 in the morning when we drop these episodes. This is how you start your week off right.
Let's go.
Okay? This is how you're going to get everything set up that you need to get done. We're going to build this week, and we're going to make it a great week, and we're going to see you next week as well.
Every Monday, we're
Every
here, 6
Monday.
a.m.
6 a.m.
Now, before we get started, there's a fee. Say that again.
There's
a fee, all right? You know what you're going to do? You're going to pay this fee. If you got any sort of feeling from this episode, you felt something good, you laughed, you learned something new, all right? Go and tell someone. This is an information exchange. We grow only by word of mouth. We don't run ads. So go pay the fee. Now,
go pay it.
let's go talk about some time management.
Time management. Look
Yeah!
at Jeez, man. You have to
Sorry.
lower the volume on that. Keep it low. Okay. But time management. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. And you might be sitting there right now wasting your time.
Yeah.
You might. This episode might be you wasting your time, or maybe not.
Maybe you're folding clothes or something.
Maybe this is the start of you building a good habit that you're going to help improve your time management.
Oh, yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about time management. Today we're going to be talking about why it can be so hard for people to kind of feel like they're managing their time well, and kind of that struggle that you might have. And then
some habits and details,
Yeah.
what we do.
And then we're going to talk about kind of building some habits, building some effective time management strategies, and hopefully helping you guys create a lot more time effective days and get a lot more done in your day. And before we start talking about kind of our stuff, I quickly want to say, if you're looking for a book and you find, a lot of this information that we talked about really useful, a really, really good book that I'm actually taking a lot of information from for this episode is Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yeah, baby.
Really, really awesome book. I'd recommend to read it if you're wanting to learn more about kind of how to build habits and kind of what habits mean. And yeah, so basically let's get straight into it. And
I'll ask the first question here. This comes in from our viewer named Paul Blart. I'm just kidding. Why is time management so hard? So go ahead, answer that. What's your thoughts?
So for me, I think time management's pretty hard too. I struggle with time management, and I used to struggle even worse with it before. And one thing that I think is one of the first reasons why time management seems so hard is because we have this little brick in our pocket
I was touching my phone
all
dude.
the time called
that.
a phone.
Oh, give me that.
Those phones and a phone, while being a super, super, super awesome piece of technology, can be unbelievably distracting.
Oh, yeah.
A phone is like one of the first things that I will go to all the time when I'm like, oh, I don't know what to think about. I want to just go look at something. I'll go look at my phone, and then I end up wasting a bunch of time on my phone. So the first thing I'd say is, for a lot of people, time management seems so hard because the environment that they're trying to time manage in is so distracting.
You got to create the correct environment, But it's also, you want to have that want to change your environment.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't even realize that their environment is what's causing their time management to be so crappy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. It's like when you set up to go do something, right? Let's say you got to go work on a homework assignment, and you put your computer down, but you also have the TV right there, and you have your computer with all your games on it, and you have your phone right there. There's a ton of distraction just surrounding you the whole time. And it might be easy to get one thing done, but as soon as you get done with that, then all of these distractions start to take over, and you just start to, get so enveloped in all of the distraction, and then 2 hours passes because you were screwing around on your phone, which is understandable. Phones are a lot of ways built to keep you distracted.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't getting distracted on my phone there. Viewers who are watching, I was typing a note, I swear.
He was taking a note.
I was taking a note. I was not texting anyone.
Open.
I was not distracted, bro.
But yeah, so the main thing is, the first thing you can do, and right, this is an advice that I give, and I'm going to kind of talk about a story in a second, is limit those distractions. When you want to do something good and you want to be productive, limit the distractions.
I want to add one thing before you get into your little story. See, the thing is, we're kind of in a society right now where distractions are extremely common. Like, I want you guys to know it's not all your fault. Like, you have to also be able to recognize that this is kind of how society is, and you will get distracted easily. Everything is here to distract you. Like Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, it's all made for it. All right, anyways, get into your story.
Well, yeah, and one thing just quickly to say on that is, think about just advertisements and the way that people advertise, and all those apps that Nick mentioned. All of them are built around popping in your face distraction, trying to kind of take your viewership and grab it as quick as they can with these insane and distracting ideas, because our brains love that. But my story that I was going to share is one thing that.
Sorry,
Okay.
I accidentally put in my passcode wrong and I got upset at myself. I'm putting my phone to the side.
So the one thing that you are sorry, I'm just gonna. The one thing that I will say about kind of limiting those distractions is one of the perfect things that I would always get distracted by is my phone, and that's when I was getting up. Recently, I started to put my phone on the charger on the other side of the room, and the main reason is I would wake up from my alarm,
Just grab it.
and I would just stop the alarm. Basically, didn't matter. I would either sleep in longer or I would grab my phone and stare at my phone. So I was like, what's the point of the alarm if I'm either going to snooze the alarm or just go on my phone and waste time? So I put it across my room, and it's a really annoying sound, so I have to go turn it off. But also, I have to get out of bed to turn it off. So I'm already out of bed by the time I turn it off. And, well, might as well go downstairs and start my day.
You should set your alarm as like your own voice speaking, bro. Because I just want people to know that it's been a running joke in our friend group that he has a very nasally voice.
Wow, man.
And that would be a perfect alarm. You're
You're just so funny. You're so funny.
But never mind. I forgot where I was going with that. Sorry, I got really distracted.
Yeah, that's right.
I was thinking about all the jokes. Everyone go like, "All right, guys, I'm here at the party." It'd be
so funny.
It was really funny.
It's
he's
really
really offended about it.
It's not funny. Okay. But yeah, so one of the things that I see a lot of people kind of say is, well, now that I've limited the distractions, how am I supposed to time manage? Like, what am I supposed to do now, right? And then some people almost get, like, I think, scared of the vast nothingness they have to do once they put their phone down.
Yeah.
Because then the possibilities are limitless, basically, because you probably spend way more time on your phone than you think. That's a generalization, but I'd say, like, most people spend a lot of time on their phone.
Especially kids around our age.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you could just put down the phone and go do something great with your day. And that can even be something as simple as, like, working out, going on a walk, going to do something that you find fun, right? Go swim or something. I don't know. Whatever you like doing. Those things are a lot more easy when you kind of set that phone down and you start to limit those distractions. I had a burp.
Bros, okay. But yeah, so what I kind of want to, dip into here is like the morning routine and kind of waking up. I think that's very crucial, is those first couple moments in your day, I think that is where a lot of people can make a misstep, and that throws off the whole thing. Like, I think one thing I really want to drill in here is you should really be thinking about how you start off your day, because that's like the first thing you're doing, that's how you start off your day. That's the first step you're taking. And that's the first habit that you're building each day. I think that's extremely important.
And I think actually that's a great segment to kind of segue into the main question of this episode, which is, what can you do to become more time effective? And Nick, if you want to kind of take away with maybe some ideas that you do, morning routine type stuff like that.
Yeah, so like I said, my morning routine is like crucial to me, right? Like, obviously, I want you to take everything I say here with like a grain of salt. I want you to create your own habits, but I want this to almost inspire you to go towards your better self and your better lifestyle, right? Here's what I do. I wake up, I don't touch my phone, that thing gets away from me, and I instantly start moving. And that is like my first habit of the day, right? I do not stay in bed. I don't stay under the covers. I have to keep moving. And that is how I start the correct step each day. Keep moving forward, hit the gym, come back home, eat breakfast, do whatever I need to do, right? But it's the simple discipline of getting up each morning, not touching my phone, and moving was the first step that allowed me to literally just launch forward every day. Like, that little habit right there is what has caused me to create bigger and stronger habits.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, every time that I start my day, I can tell, like, there's one of two ways my day is going to start. Either I grab my phone, I start getting distracted, 2 hours go by, and now I have to go rush to work because I wasted all my time on my phone. Or I get up, don't even touch my phone. Like, I leave it in my room, go downstairs, start my stuff, and that just not being there allows me to start everything so much quicker.
It's a choice.
It is a choice. And, like, even like today, I got up, I turned the alarm off, and every other day this week, I've left it in my room for my first part of the day, but today I brought it downstairs. And I ended up going on TikTok for 30 minutes without even realizing it before I was like, wait, this is the whole thing I'm trying not to do, right? And I
Bro.
put it back down and I got way more stuff done.
Imagine the people on TikTok watching the clip right now where you just said, I just went on TikTok and it ruined my day. And they're literally
That's
watching
true.
it from TikTok.
Meta, bro. Get
That's
off
it.
your
That's
phone.
literally meta, bro. Get off your
Get
phone.
off your
I
phone. Go
see
do
you
something.
on your iPhone XR. You got your pink phone case.
Yeah, bro.
You're standing in your bedroom. You just entered the room.
Get off your phone.
Dude, get off your phone.
Get off your phone. Brad.
Anyways. Brad. There's always a Brad with a pink phone case, dude.
Okay. But back to the main point. We, constantly are being distracted by that phone. And me and Nick both, I think, have seen putting that phone away and starting your day off first is 100% one of the best ways to get just into it, because you'll start thinking about, okay, well, I got to do this, this, and this, and your day will get started way quicker. Like, you'll be so surprised how fast you can get through a whole list of things to do if you just don't have that phone with you.
That gives me a good next point to segue into here is the list, right? So there's a little thing that I've kind of practiced throughout my life. I guess since like my freshman year of high school, my dad would always make me make like a power list at the beginning of the day. I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. I was like, dude, why would I write down 5 things I need to get done? It doesn't even matter. I didn't care about it. But I came to realize that if I wrote down these 5 things each day and like things that I just needed to get done, and if I got those done, I would win the day. If I just like got those 5 things done, I would feel so much more fulfilled. Like each morning, what I do now, as another step of my day, is when I get back home after the gym, I write down the stuff I need to get done, and I stick to that like relentlessly. And I feel amazing afterwards.
I do a similar thing. Well, actually, one thing that's kind of interesting is I used to struggle with that so hard. I would only do it for a couple days and then stop. Like, it would be kind of like the surge motivation to do it, and then I would stop doing it. And it definitely, it was something that I always wanted to do, but kind of then was like, it's kind of pointless. But recently, I kind of found the way that works best for me. And one thing I want to say is, it's always like listening to exactly what Nick does and copying it might not work for you. So you're going to have to experiment and see like, okay, what way works for me. But what I was saying is, for me, my way is I have like a paper journal. I get up, leave my phone in my room. I just grab that journal. I go downstairs. I start by like putting my contacts in, brush my teeth, wash my hair real quick, kind of do those like morning things, right? And then I open that journal and I just write. I write for literally like 2 minutes. That's it. I just write about kind of my day, maybe what happened yesterday, things I'm thinking about, all that, kind of just put it on the page, get those thoughts out. Because a lot of the time I'll then like think about those thoughts over and over again if I don't write them out. So I just write them out. Don't let them distract me. Then after that, I just put what I want to do today and I write a whole list of things. Usually it's only like today I only have 5 things on there. And one of them's this. Like, as
Easy
soon as
stuff.
It's like you can set those like easy goals along with some more challenging ones, and you'll notice how much better you feel because you'll just check them off at the end of the day. And then basically what I do is, once I go to bed, I re-grab that journal, check off everything I did, and some days I won't have done something that I wanted to do, and I'm like, it's okay. Write about why I didn't do it, conclude my day, finish it off, and I go to bed.
It's so effective. Like, seriously, even if it's writing down like 3 things you got to get done for the day, 3
or
things, even one, yeah. And you have like, most people are awake for like 18 hours, right? You have like 18 hours or whatever to get that stuff done. If you just commit to getting those couple items done, it's stuff that actually matters. It's not something like, walk down the stairs. Like, that's stupid. Like, something that actually is going to benefit you, right? If you stick to getting those things done, you're going to feel so much more fulfilled, and that's going to snowball. Like, I'm telling you, that little habit of consistently getting that stuff done will snowball into this huge, like, beneficial habit creation of monstrosity that you would become,
Yeah.
And who doesn't want to be a habit building monstrosity?
Exactly.
Like, that is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and that's one thing that the book Atomic Habits talked a lot about. It talked about kind of the idea of compounding habits. One habit might not feel like much of anything to you, like doing one, like, journaling, let's say, doing the thing that I said, journaling every day. To me, that might not, honestly, like, it doesn't seem like that much. It takes me 10 minutes total in a day, and it really isn't much, but it then compounds because it gets me thinking about the other habits that I'm doing in that day, building those, compounding habits. And then I'm like, holy crap, one thing has set me up and making me do so much more than I ever would have done without doing that habit. So those little things are going to kind of set yourself up. And that's kind of the main thing to time management. Like a lot of people think it's like, well, I don't have the brain for time management, right? Like I don't have the
That is the stupidest excuse. Like, straight up.
like I don't have the mindset for it, because I used to think that too, right? I'd
I
blame my
even thought
ADD.
that, yeah,
We
straight up.
revealed I had ADD last episode.
Last episode.
I
big
still have
spoiler.
ADD, but it was a way
It's
that
part
I
of his
kind of
lore.
yeah, like I said, I was like like I was like, oh no, that's why. Like I can't focus. But really what it is that I just wasn't committing to it. I wasn't saying I can do this. And one thing I want to say is and this is going to be probably something that a lot of you, if you're our age or maybe even older, don't want to hear. But if you just wake up an hour earlier than you are right now, you'll be amazed how much more time you have in that morning. Nick wakes up an ungodly time in the morning.
I just want to tell everyone I get up at like 4:15 every morning.
Yeah,
so.
that you don't have to do that. So I'm saying.
Yeah,
I get up at
that's
7:30.
insanity. Don't do what I'm doing.
I get up at 7:30, and it's probably because Nick goes to the gym. Sorry for scratched you.
You're good.
But it's because he goes to the gym and everything. And for me, I don't go to the gym right at the start of my morning. So like what I usually do is I'll get up later and go to bed earlier. But I think whatever time you are getting up at, if you just do it an hour earlier and kind of set that morning off right, get that hour of good stuff done, then you're going to be just way more productive.
That hour is so impactful, man. I'm telling you, like, I used to wake up at like 8 or 9. Like, that was my consistent wake up, especially during COVID. I would wake up at like maybe even closer to 10, right? But once I started like shrinking that time back, getting up at 6, keeping it consistent as well, it's really important for your health as well. Waking up early, taking that hour to just get done what I need to get done and start the day off right. Like I always say, that morning is the most important thing. Start that day off right. You push forward and it'll change your life. But like, honestly, changing it one day at a time is what matters the most.
Yeah.
Each day, like, make the choice to start the day off right.
Exactly.
Straight up. Also, one thing I want to add, like building on these habits, what's like the actual scientific date it takes to like make a habit? Like, how many days is it? Like 60 something, 70 something?
I don't know, bro.
I remember hearing about this. Anyways, this is like a little thing that I've kind of incorporated with my life, is that like it takes like, I don't know, 65 days, 75 days to build an actual habit. Like somewhere in that time, don't quote me on the actual thing, but somewhere in that time frame is how long it takes for the human body to build a habit, right? So when you consistently do something for, it's like what, 2.5 months, 3 months, you build that habit, and then next thing you know, it won't even take as much brain power as it did before. Then you start winning the day.
And that's a great thing that you said there, with kind of the idea of setting up that habit and feeling successful because of it. And I think a lot of people think that building that habit is too hard, and that's like the first thing. You got to get rid of that mindset of like, okay, doing this is too hard. You should never be saying that to yourself. You can always do it. Especially something as easy as just getting up earlier.
I want to add something just onto the doing this is too hard. I want you guys to think of it more as like, how can I do this? You know what I'm saying?
Like it most definitely, you might be thinking of something in your head that is pretty hard, but I want you to think like, I can do it. Whatever you want to do, I can do it. That's the first thing you have to do before starting anything, is believe that you can do it. If you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to do anything ever.
That is very true.
So, there you go. But the thing, like, even crazy to me is like, we have so many friends. I'm not going to name them, but like, they all say getting up early is hard. Like, we'll make some plan and they're like, oh, getting up at 7 is hard. Like, it's one day, bro. But my point is that's that first mindset thing that's blocking them from getting up that early, right? And if you get up at 7, right, let's say before you were getting up at 9, and now you're getting up at 7, it might feel like you're tired in the beginning. Your body's probably not going to be used to it. But in a week, your body's going to get used to it. It takes like a week, and your body gets used to whatever time now you're waking up at. Just think about when you go on vacation. It only takes a couple of days for your body to get used to that time, and then you're good. So you just kind of push through that first couple of days, and you'll feel great. And probably even on the first day, you might feel good, especially if you kind of go to bed a bit earlier. Start that day off right, and just keep doing it.
Bro keeps burping over here, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Be sorry, bro. Be better. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let me just limit all burps. Okay, but so when I'm just gonna kind of restart a little bit of that, because it's gonna be like annoying to chop up. But yeah, so when you're starting your day off and you're constantly getting up at that same time, you're gonna find that it's so much easier to just start, get up, and get going. And that little bit like earliness kind of tricks your mind into thinking like, okay, well, I'm up earlier. There's so much more I can do. And then you realize how much 2 hours really is, right? Like, if you were getting up at 9 before and now you're getting up at 7, that is 2 whole more hours that you have to work on anything you want to work on, do whatever you want to do, right? The things become a lot easier. And it might feel like, oh, and like I talked about with one of my friends that I work with, they get up for school at 6 because they're still in high school. And we were talking about like what they could do to kind of improve their time in that day and stuff. And I was like, they were talking about, oh, I do this. And you might feel like all of these things are so much to do, right? There's so much time that you're spending doing all of these things. What?
I just want to tease something. Owen speaks. Remember that. Owen speaks. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Just ruining my segment, man. Okay, but so what I was saying is, you're doing all of these things and you're progressing in all of these ways, and you're trying to do so much in a day. But what they were doing was thinking, oh well, I got to go to school and then I got to go to this, and there was like hour and a half gaps in between everything. Right, in terms of like they get up, go to school, but then they had like a huge gap in the middle of the day. And I was like, well, why don't you do stuff in the middle of the day, like right when you have that gap? And they're like, well, it takes so much time to go do this, and it takes a lot of excuses, right? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you just start to create a system, like for me, example, I go to school Tuesday and Thursdays, and I get like a 40-minute break. When I first was going, I had to figure out what I was going to eat for lunch, and it would take me 40 minutes to go get the lunch, like freaking scarf it down and get back into class. But then what I started doing was bringing lunch to school. Then that meant all I had to do was walk outside, open my lunch, and then I could work on my computer while eating lunch. And that meant I got 40 minutes to do whatever I needed to do. And that opened up, 40 minutes might not seem like a lot, but 40 minutes to progress and grow.
So I kind of want to switch gears and bring up an interesting idea that I've applied when building habits. This is kind of just a pro tip I guess I want to add in. Is I have almost specific environments for when I'm doing my habits, right? Like one example is whenever I'm reading one of my books, what I do is I sit in a specific area to a specific area is devoted to just doing that one habit. Like I sit down on my couch right over there and I read there every day, right? And I only sit in that couch when I'm reading there, right? Or like when I'm getting work done, I only sit on my like desk, right? That is only for getting work done. So I have these specific areas devoted to specific habits, and that allows you to build up those habits because like whenever you're in that environment, like we said earlier, is making sure the environment is correct. When you're in that environment, you can switch your brain into habit mode,
Absolutely. And that's actually another thing that the Atomic Habits book talked about.
Oh, frick.
Which is pretty funny that you said that. But yeah, I was actually going to say one thing that I have noticed and I've kind of realized is I used to do everything in my room, right? So I used to do and what I mean by everything is sleep, play games, do homework, and I don't know, whatever else I do in my room.
Dude, that sounds so bad, bro.
No. I don't mean that way.
I don't mean that way.
My point is that all of these things I was doing in my room made it so every time I was in my room, my brain would be like, wait, so what activity are we doing right now? Like, what are we trying to get done? And there's all of these distractions around. But then what I started doing was separate rooms, I would do separate things. So in my room, I've kind of made it into like a sleep relax place. I'm only ever sleeping and relaxing in my room. And then for homework, I have a section of my house like kind of in the living room where I just sit in this one chair. It's always the same chair. And when I sit there, I immediately turn on like, okay, get on my computer and start doing work, right? So whether it's working on these episodes or working on homework or going into a Zoom class, whatever, that's what I'm doing. When I'm getting up and I'm starting my day, I go sit in my kitchen and I write in my journal and I brew my tea and I start my day that way. And I don't go on my phone in there because it makes my brain want to do that habit because it associates the kitchen and starting my day with journaling, making tea, eating breakfast, and getting ready.
Like we said, it's the environment thing, right? It's really crucial to not let those distractions get into each of those environments.
Yeah.
Because like building that correct environment will help you build the correct habits,
And one thing I want to say is quickly is if you live in like, let's say like a small apartment, you might feel like that's a lot harder, which I totally get. Because, you might only, especially if you're roommates, you might just have your room, right? Well, one thing I say is create maybe like sections in your room. I kind of do this with my room. I do have like sections that I do things in when I do only have time to do it in my room. But even like go to a coffee shop when you do your work.
Go to a coffee shop.
There's places outside.
Find a place,
when you want to go just kind of take some time to think to yourself. Don't do it in the house. Go like outside, right?
Hit a park or something.
Hit a park.
Yeah.
go somewhere different. Like for me, like my work is a place that I go and I like try to do homework in a lot, but I end up getting distracted because it's my work. My brain immediately turns into, okay, who are my coworkers working? What am I like? Am I working later? Like, what's going on? I start like talking, and I get totally distracted, right? So like, there is environments that create your brain to kind of go back to its what it was doing before there, and when it builds those just habits that you kind of have to do in those rooms, it always will kind of revert back to it, and then it's a lot harder to kind of tug your brain and like force it into the thing you want to do rather than just doing it in a room that your brain already associates with that activity, and then it's just like, okay, we're doing this, and then it's easy.
So yeah, we can even connect that to like the list thing, right? Like make your list, say, oh, I'm gonna journal in my living room today
Exactly.
at what time, whatever, and you go do that, you knock it out and you finished it, and boom, that is the first like neuron connection or whatever, right, to building that habit. And then you
Absolutely.
consistently do that. Next thing you know, it's gonna be a breeze. You're gonna feel amazing every time you do it, and you're gonna start building those healthy habits that help create a healthy mindset.
That was a great way to kind of integrate all that in there. And one thing I want to talk about as well is, and kind of maybe this will help people with building habits and kind of starting to kind of form habits. And you thinking in your head, you might be thinking right now like, okay, this is a habit I want to start doing, right? So I want to say there's kind of two basic categories of habits that I think of, and they are positive improvements and then anti-negative improvements. So what that means is like positive improvements are going to be things that you're doing to just improve you, right? Improving what you're doing. And then anti-negative are more like things to counteract those negative thoughts, those negative habits that you've built, right? Like going on the phone for too long. You might put your phone in a different room. That's an anti-negative habit. That'll keep you from going down that negative habit spiral.
I just want to give a couple positive habit like examples. Like that would be journaling, meditating, lifting, working out, stuff like that. Like healthy stuff that improves you.
Stuff that improves you, because those are all really, really good. One thing I want to say is also like meditation. I think me and Nick both do a lot of meditation.
Yeah.
And I try to do it as much as I can, like hopefully daily. Sometimes I do mess up and I don't get it done. That's okay. But like some people, I've talked to a lot of people about it and they think it's like pointless. Or like some people are like, oh yeah, meditation's cool, but like don't really understand why you would do it. And I feel like maybe a lot of people our age think that way. At least for me. And I don't know about Nick.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I don't know how much me and Nick have actually talked about kind of why we meditate. But at least for me, I meditate because I feel like there's so much that happens in a day and so many things that my brain is interacting with that it can get really distracting. And kind of the whole point of meditating is trying to limit the distraction for a second and just find peace within that kind of like nothing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is like basically like a reset on my brain. So usually I do meditating halfway through my day, right? So like what if it's like I go to school, I come back from school and then I got to go to work, I'll meditate in between because that gives me just like a reset. So now I can think in my work brain.
I actually do my meditating right after I come back from the gym. So I'll take my shower. I take ice cold showers. But anyways, when I come back from the gym, I meditate, and I have the same space every single day. But the main reason I do my meditation in the morning is just kind of to start off with that peace and that relaxation to kind of like open up my mind for the rest of the day going forward. But that's the kind of back to the thing, like starting off the day right. And it's a habit that I do to start off the day right.
Yeah.
So always progressing forward with that habit.
Yeah, and I think really like the only other thing that I would say for building habits is when you go to start a habit, it's going to seem hard and it's going to seem difficult. It always is. And especially if you're doing something like a big habit, like let's say like starting a working out habit, I think those can be like a lot more challenging to stay consistent to than something like brush my teeth as soon as I wake up, right? Those two require a way different amount of energy to get started with, right? Something that Atomic Habits talked a lot about is make a habit easy, make it like desirable, right? The easier a habit is, the more likely you are going to do it, right? As dumb as that might sound, if you can make a habit as easy as possible, you're way more likely to continue doing it over time. That's something that I kind of hold to heart, and that's why I try to make my things as simple as possible, because I know my brain will be like, oh, that's going to be too hard. I don't want to do that anymore. And then I'll stop doing it, right? So by creating really easy and simple habits, those habits kind of are the building blocks that then can be kind of the layer of reinforcement to then like a bigger habit that might be more challenging, like working out or something.
I kind of want to add one thing off of like building the habits, right? This is a concept I want you guys to kind of remember as you're building these habits is consistency is key, right? But I want you to remember something. Say you make a misstep one day and you accidentally drop that habit. Don't beat yourself up over that. Like, yes, you messed up. That habit dropped for one day, but think about it this way. You went for whatever, like 2 weeks where you were practicing that habit consistently. That is 2 weeks. That's impressive. That was so much better than what you were doing before when you didn't even do that habit at all. So don't beat yourself up as you're building these habits. It's a process. It's going to be a grind, but like consistency is key. And if you're doing it for 2 weeks, mess up for one day, and then go on for another month after that, that is like one day you messed up. That's like 99% efficiency. Like that is incredible. I want you guys just to remember it. That's probably one of the most important things when building a habit is that if you mess up one day, but you've been consistent for all these other days, that is still like, that is improvement.
Yeah, and then like one quote that I kind of want to say from Atomic Habits is he was talking about like making one mistake, right? You have a habit, and he said people make mistakes all the time. Like really successful people mess up one day. But if you then mess up 2 days, that's the start of a negative habit. So one day is fine. That's going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. But then if you let that build into a habit itself, that's when it becomes a problem.
See, I have one last quote to kind of add on to that.
Quote.
Messing up once is like, that's an accident, right? But messing up again after that, that's a choice. So
it is, and like it's really easy because, you can just kind of let things snowball. But if you just start by saying, okay, I messed up, but let's continue. I've done it so many times, but we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep improving. That one day might be a mistake, but let's just make it a one mistake type thing and then keep the ball going.
Heck yeah.
But I think that's really it.
Yeah.
I think we're basically, we've told you everything you need to know. So hopefully now you feel like you understand kind of what it is to build a habit better.
Yeah. Go build some good habits.
Go build some good freaking
inspired.
habits. And, go like just start thinking more about time management. Even if it's just freeing up 30 more minutes in your day, it's going to make 30 more minutes that you're doing something, good. And that's going to kind of just compound and build on itself. And, we hope you guys feel like you're more successful people. Let's go get the rest of our week done.
Guys,
let's go get it.
Yeah, seriously. Start off the week right. And remember, pay the fee, all right? If you learned anything, if you gained any knowledge, any of that, right? We grow by word of mouth. Say it. Word of mouth. We grow by word of mouth. But seriously, guys, go tell. We want to grow this. We want to tell people. We want to get some good vibes going every week. We'll be here next Monday, 6 a.m.
Next Monday. We'll see you next Monday.
The next episode. You guys have a great week.
Peace out.
Go pursue greatness.